Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the corporate world. Today we're diving into Lakeshore Bancorp's proxy statement. It's like their annual report card, but with a few extra surprises. Get ready for some boardroom drama, executive paychecks, and maybe a peek into the future of this Lakeside bank. Let's see if the water's calm or if there are some financial sharks lurking beneath the surface. This is the invitation to their yearly shareholder meeting. It's happening May 21st, 2025 at the headquarters in Dunkirk, New York. They want you to vote on a few important things. First, they need to elect 3 directors to the board for a 3-year term. Second, there's a non-binding vote on executive pay, meaning shareholders get to say whether they think the top dogs are earning their keep. And third, they want to confirm their accounting firm for the year. The board of directors wants you to vote yes on all of these proposals. They're using a method where they send the report to you over the internet, but you can ask for a paper copy if you want. They really want you to vote, no matter how many shares you own. This proxy statement is all about getting you, the shareholder, informed before the annual meeting. It tells you about the meeting itself, who can vote, how many votes you get, and how to actually cast your vote. Lakeshore Bancorp is the holding company, the big boss for Lakeshore Savings Bank. On March 24, 2025, there were about 5.8 million shares of Lakeshore Bancorp stock. A big chunk, 63.1%, is owned by Lakeshore MHC, which is like their parent company. To have a valid meeting, they need a quorum, which is a majority of shares represented. Since Lakeshore MHC owns more than half, they're pretty much guaranteed to have enough people present. Each share gets 1 vote. You can vote in person, by phone or online. If you own shares through a brokerage and you don't give them instructions on how to vote, they might not vote your shares on certain issues. It's called a broker non-vote. If you abstain, it's basically the same as not voting. For electing directors, the people with the most votes win. For the executive pay vote, it needs a majority of votes cast to pass. For ratifying the accounting firm, again, a majority is needed. Lakeshore MHC, the parent company, plans to vote in favor of everything. Lakeshore MHC owns 63.1% of the company's stock, making them the biggest shareholder. Here's a quick snapshot of what the insiders own. All the directors and executive officers together own about 4.1% of the company's stock. They need to elect 3 Class 2 directors this year: Kevin Sandvig, Sharon Brotigam, and Anne Segara. Kevin Sandvig is the chairman of the board. He used to be in charge of the Chautauqua County Industrial Development Agency, so he knows a thing or two about bringing business to the area. Sharon Brotigam is the vice chairperson. She was a lawyer for a long time, focusing on real estate and small business issues. Anne Segara is a director and she works for the university at Buffalo. She's got tons of experience in finance, including time at Key Bank. She's also the financial expert on the audit committee. Kim Liddell is the president and CEO. Before Lakeshore, he was running another bank in Maryland. The board of directors had 12 regular meetings and 2 special meetings during 2024. All the directors attended at least 75% of the meetings. Here's what the non-employee directors got paid in 2024. Sharon Brotigam made about $52,000, Michelle DeBergalis around $37,000, and Kevin Sandvig as chairman got about $86,000. A portion of their pay is stock in the company. Some directors also have supplemental benefit plans, which are like extra retirement accounts. The board checks every year to make sure its directors are independent, meaning they don't have any conflicts of interest. The board has several committees, like the audit committee, which keeps an eye on the finances, the compensation committee, which decides how much the executives get paid, and the nominating and corporate governance committee, which finds and nominates new directors. The compensation committee considers things like the company's performance, its plans for the future, and what other companies are paying their executives. The board is also in charge of managing risk. The Enterprise Risk Committee keeps an eye on all the potential dangers to the company, like credit risk, interest rate risk, and even cybersecurity risk. Jeffrey Werdine is the Executive Vice President for the Commercial Division. He's been with Lakeshore since 2014. Taylor Gilden is the Chief Financial Officer and Treasurer. He joined in 2023 and used to work for Deloitte. The executives can also earn bonuses based on how well the company performs. They also have stock plans, giving employees and directors the chance to own shares in the company. Time for the say on pay vote. You get to tell them whether you think the executives are paid fairly. It's not binding, but the board will listen to what you say. The board recommends that you vote for the compensation of the executives. Alright, let's talk money. In 2024, CEO Kim Liddell made around $1,068,000. Jeffrey Werdine made around $453,000 and Taylor Gilden took home around $433,000. Those non-equity incentive plan compensation payments made up 45.4% of Liddell's base salary, 15.8% of Werdine's, and 38.3% of Gildan's. Other compensation includes things like 401k contributions and ESO contributions. Liddell also got over $130,000 in perks, including housing and country club dues. This is what options and stocks they have now that are not vested or locked in. Now for the pay versus performance table, this is where things get interesting. In 2024, if you invested $100 in Lakeshore Bancorp, you'd end up with $101. Net income was about $4.9 million. The non-PO's principal executive officers' compensation was roughly $443,000, while the actually paid compensation was roughly $457,000. Compensation actually paid doesn't necessarily mean cash in hand, but is a value calculated under SEC rules. This is the most crucial relationship, comparing compensation to shareholder returns. This is an overview of any compensation plans where employees can earn shares of the company. They want you to approve Yount, Hyde & Barbour as their accounting firm. The board thinks it's a good idea. They actually changed accounting firms in 2023, switching from Baker Tilly to Yount, Hyde & Barbour. Here's what they paid Yount, Hyde & Barbour in 2024. Audit fees were about $142,000, and audit-related fees like the Sunny Ma audit were another $28,000. The audit committee has a policy of pre-approving all the work that the accounting firm does. The audit committee reviewed the financial statements and thinks everything looks good. Everyone filed their paperwork on time according to what the company knows. They have rules in place to prevent any funny business when dealing with insiders like directors or executive officers. If you have something you want to propose at the next annual meeting, you need to get it in writing to the company by December 12, 2025. So what's the story here? Lakeshore Bancorp is running a pretty standard operation. They want you to approve their directors, their executive pay, and their accounting firm. The numbers are decent, but keep an eye on those executive perks. They seem to be doing okay, but you always need to watch out for hidden risks. Overall, Lakeshore Bancorp seems to be steering a steady course, but as always, do your own research before making any investment decisions. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe for more corporate deep dives. See you in the next video.